anglers. Welcome to the Anglers 48 show live today, Sunday morning. Thank you for joining us on this episode. This is episode 13 of our show. First time that we're doing it live, and I got so many little projects that I really don't have time to do all of them. So I'm trying to combine the uh, the Anglers 48 show episode 13 with this live that I wanted to do. So right now, what I'm working on is I'm working on these reels right here. They take abuse regularly. I was at the East Cut Islands in Port Mansfield, Texas, and they were really taking abuse. I take them overnight, and they get kind of gunked up quite a bit. Salt gets on them. Try to maintain them as much as possible, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Also, the garage needs to be tidied up, and I'm the one that gets it this way to start. So this is what I was working on, and I stopped doing that to be able to do this episode right here. So I already did one on Facebook yesterday, and I didn't tag as the YouTube, but once again, so many things that I have to do, a lot of editing to do, and I want to get ready for the Dallas Cowboys game. If there's a little bit of time, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Cowboys. Yeah, look at this, guys. That boat has a lot of stuff on it, and I really need to, get some of that stuff out. Sometimes during commercials on the football game, I'll do some of that. There's certain things I'm getting as the stuff backed up on my computer to free up more storage so that when I upload the videos, I want to send shout outs to those who have been watching my videos on Anglers 48 and have been commenting. Thank you for doing that, guys. Let's go ahead and get on it, guys. I went fishing on Friday. I took a day off, wanted to take a break from work, and had spoken to Tony. It's a good thing he called me, those vibes. And we talked, and he was asking me what was going on, how things were, and I asked him how things were. So, and I told him, if you want to go to the East Cut and on his boat, we're good to go. And he was all for it. He was excited. And luckily, we talked a day or two before all this. So his boat has been lights out. Still needs a little bit more work, but it worked. Once again, it worked like a dream. It sure did. We were out there. We were slinging those lines. We tried about 4 different spots there on the East Cut Islands, and you can get to them by boat or on a kayak. You can't get there waiting, right? So this is our second fishing trip out there, and I was really excited. The weather was going to be nice and pleasant, but like it is right now, Friday, even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and even Monday are going to be beautiful fishing days. But unfortunately, at this point, I'm not doing any back-to-back fishing trips. I could have done an overnighter. We could have done an over fish during the day, fish during the evening, at night, and in the morning. We could have done one of those. But we really wanted to be able to go out there on the water where we were going to catch some nice fish. So I was going to take 3 fishing poles. That's what I normally take. I take 1 fishing pole with a leader put some mullet on it, cast it out, and that's for the bottom, for anything feeding on the bottom. Okay, usually from experience, uh, big fish far away, they're into mullet, right? From experience, and it wasn't. I wasn't getting any bites with mullet. We had caught some finger mullet. We cut it up, and we had caught plenty of live shrimp. And once again, thank you, Mr. Wesley, for that. Thank you, Wesley. So we caught a lot of shrimp, and we were able to have plenty of bait because that's what Tony loves. Tony's not much of a artificial kind of guy. He likes to have that live shrimp off a popping cork. So we tried the north side of those islands. On the previous trip, we had tried the south side. We had some early success, undersized reds, undersized trout. We eventually drifted back then, and we were able to, I was able to catch two and Tony one. Now, on this trip, I told Tony we're gonna go and try the north side. Once again, thank you, Wesley, on this. So we tried the north side. It was during the week, not a whole lot of traffic. You would see a boat here, a boat there, a boat going that way, but not a Saturday. Okay, and usually Saturday on the weekends it's flooded over there. There's heavy traffic everywhere. I could tell that some of the people that were out there were fishing guides because they would be dropping people off along the channel, and they would be waiting. So we tried a couple of spots. The first spot, nothing. A couple of catfish, and we were willing to be moving. We weren't gonna be sticking around in one spot, so we just decided to be there for a while. We moved. I started seeing a lot of tails, redfish tails, on the north side of the channel, and you guys know about this. You're talking about depths from about inches. I'm talking about less than half a foot to maybe 3 or 4 feet. Okay, and I started to get closer and closer, and still until I started seeing tiny birds standing on the water. And I told Tony, it's not gonna work. There may be areas where the boat can go through, but eventually it's gonna run aground. And sure enough, we ran into some oyster beds. We were actually on an oyster bed. Hopefully that didn't mess up Tony's boat. I had to actually, like I said, I had to get off and push it out of there. It's very dangerous to do that. I don't know the East Cut pathway very well. Apparently, you can get off and wade there. So you have to know your areas. I'm sure the guides explain this to those people who are there, but as even though I saw those reds, it wasn't gonna work because those reds are feeding on oyster beds. It didn't click on me. It didn't click on me. I don't know why I goofed on that one. I guess I was just nervous that I was on oyster beds, but it didn't click on me to put a top water. I should have put a top water. You see those tailing reds? Cast over them, and then bring it, and then you get those hits. Now take it when the reds are feeding, they're down, their heads are down, so they may not actually see the spoon, the top water. But anyway, the next spot we moved was further down, and I was casting parallel to the islands with mullet, right? And I was casting north and south with artificial and the shrimp. Now, the one of the best um, hits that I got was a hit from a skipjack, right? I got a hit from a skipjack, and that was the best. I think this chair's gonna break. That was the best hit that I got. Why was that? Because I was able to cut up that skipjack and use it for bait. I reeled in the piece of finger mullet, and I put some skipjack on it, some good chunks of skipjack. Casted it out there, and within maybe 15 minutes of it being in the water, that red, because I'm not gonna have it's a tiny boat. Tony's boat is very tiny. It does have rod holders, but if I put those rods on the rod holders, it's going to hamper me. It's going to keep me from slinging that rod nicely. I can still do it, but so I lay them flat on the bottom of the boat. Make sure that they're kind of that they're gonna get caught if there's a hit, right? And sure enough, I'm messing with the popping cork over here, and all of a sudden this rod wants to fly off the boat, but it's stuck, and it's zinging. And I get that rod, pick up that rod, and it's practically pulling me out of the boat. And it's one of the best feelings in the world. One of the best feelings in the world. So there I am. I'm screaming, fish on, right? Fish on there. And this fish, right off the top, is basically inches, from the surface of the water. I could actually see the fish. I could see the silhouette. And then when it was splashing, that was just over the top. Beautiful. And that first fish, it cut me off at about 11 minutes. I was fighting that fish for about 11 minutes. Now, it would have been a longer fight had I asked Tony to pull out his his cast net. It would have been. But when I got that red close enough to where I went for my net, and as I extended it, it had gotten caught in my cast net. The fish got scared, and it went under the boat, and it came back up, and there I am. You see it on the video. I have the rod on one hand, and I'm trying to mess with the cast net. And then because of all the issues, all the pulls, the drag pulls, it broke off. That was a beautiful red. Now, I rebaited with a new leader, put some skipjack, casted it out, made a good knot, started messing around with the popping cork, and then once again the shrimp was not working in that area. Tony, I think, caught maybe one or two trout, undersized. And all of a sudden, again, that fishing reel, that rod, starts to fly off the boat, and I'm able to get it. Eventually, I think it would have gotten caught with all the hoses and stuff there by the motor. But not very long after, I get that rod starting to leave. This one, again, same rod. I'm fighting it. I think this one I fought it like for 18 minutes. And it didn't want to get tired. This one was not the same one. It was a different one. I'm like, what are the odds? This one looked a little battered. It looked aged. Had some battle scars. This time Tony had his net out, and I was able to have Tony net it. Again, I was fishing on this particular rod with 10-pound test line. On the video, I think I said 12, but it was 10 pounds. I don't like to take these humongous fish. 29, that would be about the best one that I would take. 29 inches. At this point, I cut the line. I put a new knot. I believe that knot that it had was compromised, so I cut it off, put a new knot, rebaited both fishing poles with skipjack, cast them out, continued to play. Remember, at this point, Tony, he was helping, right? I kept him from fishing for all those minutes that I was fighting that fish. I was crossing my fingers sort of for him to be able to land something. It just wasn't happening. At this point, a couple of minutes later, the other rod wants to fly off the boat too. As I'm trying to get it, it had gotten tangled up a little bit. I pull to set the hook if it hadn't been already, and it got away. Whatever it was, it didn't bite down the way it's supposed to. And then I had asked Tony, there's several spots where we can focus on trout. So we headed out that way. We started getting some hits on the second cast. I was able to catch my keeper trout. I don't think I was able to record that one. And then we started catching dinky trout, and then the bite stopped, and we came on home. But once again, those are good experiences. One of the things I love about going on Tony's boat is that we can launch from the south side of Port Mansell. It's not bad. Not too bad at all. The boat doesn't even have to be in the water. It'll just slide off. So we'll see what next week brings, guys. I got some more work to do. Now, switching gears for the Dallas Cowboys. I have a few friends who love to fish, but also like to watch the games. Mr. Rick Luna, he's also a big fanatic of the Dallas Cowboys. Rick Diaz, he's always pumped up for the games. Mr. Felix Trevino, good friend of mine, he's a diehard Cowboy fan. My partner in crime, Tony, diehard fan. He's getting ready for the Cowboys game. So once again, Cowboys, we all know they need to win the East. They need to win the East. They need to take advantage of these few games that are coming up, possible winner games. And like I've always said, they need to start off on the right foot. They can't start off with mistakes, penalties, things like that. And they need to get up on the Eagles the way they've been getting up on these other teams. He needs to throw the ball. He needs to run. He cannot be a statue back there. 87, number 87 has to be involved. You gotta involve those tight ends. I believe instead of the defense making waves, The offense has to make waves to get that defense going. A.J. Brown, they're saying that Bland is going to be on him. The good thing is they have that other corner that there's any issues, they can alternate. But all the receivers on the Eagle side are good. You stop A.J. Brown, put that safety up there to help. See what we can do. Get some help on A.J. Brown over there. But like I said, Dak Prescott has to throw the ball. He has to run with the ball as well. The other receivers, they have to be involved as well. Once again, number 87, he has to be running those nice patterns, giving Dak Prescott some good those routes. They have to be crispy, they have to be nice. They can't be, if you run a route and you don't run it the right way, you're gonna bring other defenders to you. That's a recipe for disaster for Prescott there. So if it's a tight game, we don't want tight games, guys. With the Cowboys, I don't think the Cowboys would do good if it's a tight game. If it comes down to the last drive, nope. Cowboys need to dominate and put the game out early. I'm looking at a lot of 4th and 1 conversions for the Cowboys. The Cowboys get a 4th and 1 at the 30, at the 40. They need to go for it. You got to play to win. You can't play not to lose. Once again, that's my little take on the Cowboys there. But we'll see what next week brings, guys. If we're getting some, I know that there's another cold front coming. That's usually puts a damper on things. If the cold front comes midweek or early in the week, like it did last weekend, it's going to be perfect, right? So when the cold front comes late Sunday, early Monday, that's perfect timing, because sometimes you get those calm before the storm type of things, right? I'll leave you with that. I have a lot of work to do, guys. Please check out my other podcasts. This is once again episode 13. I talk about anything and everything. I also, every once in a while, I'll do some tutorials on trolling motors, cleaning reels, fish lures that I use, things of that nature. But share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll leave you with that, guys. I know that it's Sunday. It's a family day. People are out, with their families. Please comment. I would love to hear what you guys think of these adventures of mine. And until next time, from far Texas, on this Anglers 48 Show podcast, signing off.